Today, we're venturing into the shadowy alleys of the New Orleans French Quarter to explore a legend so compelling it blurs the line between history and horror. The case of Jacques Saint-Germain and the enduring mystery of the Count of Saint-Germain. This is Hold My Sweet Tea. I assume I need no introduction, but I'm Holly.
And I'm Pearl, and I do not say blah, blah, blah.
It's Vampire Week. Yeah. Oh, you heard that right. It's Vampire Week.
It is.
Absolutely. We're gonna do a story about a vampire who transcended time. And then also on Thursday's episode, dun, dun,
You get to learn about some vampire culture that is still existing in New Orleans.
Love it.
Well, actually, it's kind of everywhere, but,
Yeah.
We're just focused on New Orleans.
Absolutely. Because it's the coolest.
Duh.
It is the vampire capital. For surezies.
Forever. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Right. I mean, even though Anne Rice romanticized it, it's always been a vampire city.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even before that became super popular.
Yeah. I mean, it is like the land of lore.
Yeah. And mystery and just the feel of the city when you walk down the streets.
Yeah.
And it's like stepping into an old country.
Yeah. Smells like one too.
It really does. It be stinking.
It smells like it does not have the conveniences of today.
I don't know what you're talking about, soap. Let me throw my piss bucket out the window.
Exactly. I'm like, there's urine everywhere. Urine.
So are we jumping into it today?
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
do some jumping jacks right on
All
into
right,
that.
jumping jacks. Let's do it. So if ever there was a city tailor-made for vampires, it is New Orleans. With its above-ground crypts, its seductive darkness, and a history that seems to seep from the very cobblestones, amongst other things, because it's gross.
Yeah, there's so many things seeping.
Not to mention those huge-ass cockroaches.
Oh, God.
Every time I see them, I'm like, yeah, and run the other way. The Crescent City is a natural home for immortal creatures of the night. I mean, Pearl and I were once some of those creatures
I was
of
going
the
to say
night.
we were creatures of the night.
We literally roamed the streets at night in New Orleans.
Of the night.
Yes. And we,
Rocky Horror Picture
before
Show.
it was like, exactly.
Hit me in the face with creatures of the night.
Oh, Rocky. And remember the time we were at Lafitte's blacksmith shop and we were all gothed out and we look over and there's people taking pictures of us
Yeah.
in the little window in the front.
We were drinking our little purple drinks.
Yes.
The voodoo purple deck.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, yay, we get immortalized in pictures.
Or you remember the time that we were down there walking with a friend
Yes.
and some dude yells, "Look, it's the craft."
Yes. We were the cool goth, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we were
much.
still cute.
Yeah. Very cute. So let's start our story in the early 1900s. So we're not quite modern times, but almost.
We're getting there, creeping on the modern.
Right. And this comes with the arrival of a mysterious man known as Jacques Saint-Germain. He was everything New Orleans society adored: handsome, elegant, and fabulously wealthy. Because they like the wealth over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. His reputation for throwing extravagant, entertaining parties preceded him. And it wasn't too long before he became the toast of the town. Like, everybody wanted to go to Saint Germain's home, which took up residence in a part of Royal Street and Ursuline Street at 1039 Royal. And when I looked it up, it is on the same block. If you go around the corner, it's on the 700 block where the sausage ghost took place and the trunk murders.
Apparently, that's a happening block.
A block away from the convent where the casket girls were. I was like, okay, this is a hot spot right here. But Jacques was also quite a ladies' man. Often seen strolling the French Quarter at night with a beautiful woman on his arm, or dancing the night away in the city's most elegant clubs.
He was shaking his tail feathers.
He was living his life. But his true passion seemed to be his elaborate dinner parties. These were highly anticipated affairs, known for their lavish cuisine, exquisite wines, and captivating entertainment. So it's kind of like the Met Gala. You had to be invited, you had to be the elite of New Orleans to get into one of Jacques Saint-Germain's dinner parties.
If he's a vampire, how does he know the food's good?
Well, we're going to get into that. I'm going to tell you. Yet the real draw was always Saint-Germain himself. He enthralled his guests with incredible stories from far-off lands, France, Italy, Africa, and even ancient Egypt. His guests were charmed by his eloquent English and amused by his vivid recollections. But there was a slight peculiarity. He spoke of events that happened hundreds of years in the past with such precise, firsthand detail as if he himself had been there.
Well.
Right? Most of the guests, they just simply dismissed it. It was just him being eccentric, part of the man's undeniable charm. Not long after his arrival, Jacques Saint-Germain began to claim a rather grand lineage. He asserted he was the direct descendant of the Count of Saint-Germain. Now, the Count was an 18th century nobleman who was a close confidant and servant of King Louis XV of France. This claim naturally raised some eyebrows, yet the resemblance between Jacques' portrait and the Count was uncanny. Not just this might be kind of family. They looked exactly alike. Observers also noted another fascinating detail. The Count was never depicted as older than 40, the very age Jacques Saint-Germain appeared to be since his arrival to New Orleans.
Well.
Right.
Looky here.
Soon a playful rumor began to circulate. Could Jacques Saint-Germain be the Count of Saint-Germain himself? Somehow rendered immortal and ageless? They were maybe it is him. Maybe he's found the fountain of youth. Could be.
Oh, yeah.
Because he talks about things.
The bloody fountain.
Yeah, the bloody fountain. He talks about things centuries ago. So maybe, what is this? But Jacques himself, he seemed to thoroughly enjoy the air of mystery he cultivated. So he was playing off of it. He's like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, the attention is great.
Mm-hmm. He neither confirmed nor denied it, letting the whispers swirl around him. But let's go dive into who the Count of Saint-Germain is, because we want to get a little backstory on him so we kind of know, like, is this who this is or is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So Voltaire himself famously said of the Count, he is a man who knows everything and who never dies. Yeah. This is Voltaire himself. While official records claim the Count was born around 1710 and died in 1784, countless people claim to have seen him alive long after his supposed death, even as recently as 1970.
Which means he's really bad at faking his own death.
Right. Like, bro.
Do better.
He's like, I don't
They ain't
care.
even got social media and they're seeing you. Come on now.
Right, in the 70s? Like, where are you at now? The Count of Saint-Germain is one of history's most intriguing figures, though. An 18th century European adventurer whose true identity and origins remain shrouded in mystery. He moved through the highest ranks of European society, leaving a trail of wonder and speculation in his wake. His real name and birth details are very sketchy to unknown. So various theories suggest he was the son of, and I'm sorry if I butcher this, it's a hard one. It's Ferenc I Rakotis, which was the Prince of Transylvania. So maybe he was the son of him. Or a Portuguese Jew. Or even a Spanish Jesuit.
I think he was just a sweet transvestite.
Exactly.
From transsexual.
Transylvania. Ha ha. A little extra entertainment in there for you.
I love the Rocky Horror Picture
Right?
Show.
And this is like going back. We're just going through all kinds of Rocky Horror stuff in here. So he used numerous aliases and titles throughout his life, which also was added to the air of mystery and confusion with him, including the Marquis of Montferrat and Count Bellamar. I'm like, I have never heard of either one of those.
Nope,
but
me either.
There we go. He had no visible means of support, but possessed seemingly boundless wealth, a source of which was unknown. Where was he getting his money from?
From the dead guys.
Exactly.
Exactly.
He would often give lavish gifts of diamonds to people. So I'm like, you're just out here handing out diamonds and you don't even have a job?
Yeah.
Where's this coming from?
Go ahead, boy.
He was also remarkably intelligent and talented. He was fluent in many European languages, 8 of them to be exact, including French, English, Spanish, Italian, Russian, Dutch, German, and Portuguese. And some say possibly even Latin, Greek, Arabic, and Chinese. Like, how do you learn all these languages? I mean, yeah, if you're super, super smart, but like in your little short lifetime, but then he's saying like...
You were everywhere all the time.
Right.
That's a lot. There's no Rosetta Stone.
No,
or
no
Duolingo.
Exactly. But even with that, he was also a skilled violinist and composer. He frequently performed for royalty and was known to move people to tears with his music.
The man of many talents.
Right? But that's not all. He's associated with various esoteric fields, including alchemy, mysticism, and secret societies like the Freemasons.
Mm-hmm.
So he was dipping his fingers in everything.
But was he cute though?
I I mean, I looked at the picture and not really.
No, so
maybe he
so
modernized himself a little
that
bit.
vampy
But
stare that, you know, like puts people in a trance so they think he's cute.
It was kind of, he had kind of the pictures I've seen was like the George Washington hair.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. But as you listen to this story, I hear where Anne Rice got her ideas for Lestat.
Ah.
Like, just the similarities and the things that she did, and his Essex, you know, he liked doing lavish things and so you can kind of hear it in here.
Living beyond his actual means. He just yeah, I got you.
He was also involved in delicate diplomatic affairs, including alleged attempts to broker peace between England and France during the 7-Year War. He was also arrested in London as a suspected Jacobite spy. I'm not sure what a Jacobite spy, and I should have looked it up, but I did not. But if you want to Google I read on.
While you read.
I was like, dang it, I missed that. He was a charming and dazzling conversationalist, making an instant impression in aristocratic circles and becoming a highly sought-after guest at dinner parties. So we're just wrapping around the similarity here.
So basically, he was just a government spy in the Jacobite army.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Nothing crazy.
Right. Like, I'm going to go learn, like, all these languages. I'm going to spy. I'm going to be a violinist. I'm going to do some alchemy. I've got time on my hands. I don't. I just want to go home and go to bed.
Right. I want some time on my hands because I'm tired.
I want my cats to leave me alone so I can sleep past 5:30 in the morning.
Right. My dogs bark at mysterious things
in
the night.
Nothing's there. Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing there.
So let's now fast forward to the early 1900s now that we've kind of got a little background on the Count. Jacques Saint-Germain, like I said, would throw lavish dinner parties. And while his guests feasted on the most exquisite dishes, Jacques himself never partook in the feast. So like you said, how did he know what it tasted like? I guess he just hired people to make it.
Can you taste that? Is it good?
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean like real good.
Like real good. Okay. But he would often stand apart from the table. Like, he didn't even want to be at the table.
He's like, nasty food.
So he would watch people dine on empty plates and drink from empty glasses. That was a quote from Interview with the Vampire. Thank you. He would often stand apart from the table, drinking from an ornate chalice, presumably filled with wine, as he spun his fantastical tales. So he was over there just drinking his stuff, and while everybody feasts and just telling them tales so they could dine and just
Maybe
be entertained.
He ate rats.
Rats? You ate rats, Louis?
Exactly.
And I don't recommend them. I know every word to Interview with the Vampire. So this very strange habit, coupled with his striking resemblance to the historical Count, led some of the city to suggest that perhaps this mysterious man was in fact a vampire.
Dun, dun, dun.
Blah, blah, blah.
I do not say blah, blah, blah.
But what started out as a lighthearted rumor took a sinister turn. Several months after Saint-Germain's arrival and him wining and dining society, the New Orleans police were called to his Royal Street home. A woman had seemingly fallen from his second-story gallery. The woman, rumored to be a prostitute, hadn't fallen at all. She had leapt. what would make you just jump off of a second floor balcony
Right.
onto the street.
Like, what are you doing, ma'am?
Yeah. Bystanders on the street had surrounded her, tending to her as she hysterically ranted about escaping Saint-Germain. She screamed and sobbed, claiming he had bitten her neck and that she had only managed to escape when a loud knocking at the door had briefly distracted him. So the woman was rushed to the hospital. The police, perhaps thinking she was delusional given her profession, I hate people,
Of course.
and perhaps influenced by Saint-Germain's prominent social standing, told the well-known and respected gentleman, "Don't bother coming in tonight for questioning. Just come to the police station in the morning and we'll talk about it." They were confident there was a perfectly reasonable explanation for what had transpired. The next morning, Jacques Saint-Germain never appeared at the police station. To everyone's shock, he had completely vanished overnight, leaving behind the vast majority of his possessions. Like, he was out.
He bolted.
Yeah. Legend has it that when the police cautiously broke into his house, anticipating what they might find, they made a truly chilling discovery on the second floor. Among his belongings, they found a large series of open but corked wine bottles. Upon closer inspection, they realized that this large collection of bottles was not filled with wine, but with a terrifying mixture of wine and large quantities of human blood.
Yummy.
Yeah. Which he was drinking out of his chalice.
Of course.
And not eating. Was Saint-Germain killing and draining his victims? Did he choose prostitutes as easy means since they seemed to be disposable? I mean, not many people were looking for them because...
I mean, that stands through today. Like,
Yep.
I mean, it's gotten slightly better,
Right.
but not by much.
But people still look down their nose at sex workers. Like, maybe that's all they got.
Like, you asked for it.
Right.
Or something. Yeah.
No. That's crazy. So Jacques Saint-Germain was never seen again. He disappeared as mysteriously as he arrived. But did he? There are several sightings of him in and around New Orleans throughout the 1900s. The people who had come to be in his life were undoubtedly shocked by the scandal, feeling betrayed and fooled, and perhaps a little disappointed that the fun, however unsettling, had come to such an abrupt end. It's kind of like a Diddy party. But without the baby oil.
I was going to say, minus the baby oil.
He wasn't having freak offs. He was having, like...
Drink offs.
Drink offs. And the elite were like, "Oh, damn. Okay, well, we're just a little embarrassed." "Oh, no, I never went over there. I don't know what you're talking about."
Whose house?
No.
I don't even know who that is.
Saint-Germain? No. And this, my friends, is where the legend of Jacques Saint-Germain as a vampire truly began to flourish. Had the Count Saint-Germain, the 18th century nobleman, made his way to America, specifically to the vibrant, unsuspecting city of New Orleans? I mean, the resemblance between the two are startling. Both men of immense charm and intellect, both spoke of historical events as if they had witnessed them firsthand, and both seemed to possess an ageless quality. So, what do we make of all this? Is it simply a fascinating coincidence? Is it, could be real? Have people embellished this story and added to it? We'll never know, I guess. Unless he pops back up one day.
Right. I was about to say, where's homeboy at right now?
Right. Was he an immortal being who had traversed centuries, an ageless enigma with no need for earthly nourishment except perhaps the curious mix of wine and human blood discovered in his abandoned New Orleans home. Whether you believe in vampires or not, the tale of Jacques and the Count of Saint-Germain is a captivating one. It blends the romantic allure of New Orleans and the chilling possibility of something ancient lurking just beneath its surface.
I don't know. I mean, you find bottles of blood.
Yeah.
And wine corked.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's been shown up.
Yeah.
By the sausage ghost and the
Right.
trunk murders. Like, I fully expected some sort of, I don't know.
Right.
Bloodbathery. I
But-
don't
yeah,
know.
like-
I was like, what is happening here?
And it's not too far from the Lalaurie mansion and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like all right in that area. So I guess, he was just out here living his best life. And then he got caught because
He's like, oops.
he's like, my prostitute. She like jumped off the balcony. He's like, damn it, now I have to move again. They're going to ask questions.
Yeah. Some of the beaches.
Right. But it's a legend that reminds us that the Crescent City history truly does step forward and make itself known in the present day, sometimes in the most unexpected and terrifying ways. I don't think his story was as terrifying as you would think, like a vampire story
No,
is.
I guess they're just like the fact that he is one is what is terrifying. to
Right.
Whatever. To have to think that they actually exist.
Yes. And then, his similarities and everything. So the rumors swirled, and I mean, he could have been a vampire. He could have not. He could have just been one of those people who like to consume human blood.
Yeah.
Blech.
A sanguinarian.
There you go. He was like sangrianarian. All right.
Yeah. Right. Since his was mixed with
Yeah, a
wine,
little bit of
it
wine.
makes total sense.
Yep. There we go. But but no one had ever seen him eat. Only drink from his special sippy cup.
His vampy sippy cup.
Right. And I guess his servants and people who lived in his home and made the food and everything, I wonder what they thought about it. Did they ever make him food and bring to him?
Right. To try to get
Right.
him to eat. Like, taste this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Like-
What's your excuse?
Interview at the Vampire, Louis would sit at the table and would never eat, but
Pick at it.
yeah, but they would bring him food, and then people
Yes.
got suspicious, and the slaves were like, we're out of here. And they burned the whole house down,
Yeah.
as they should have.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Yes. But that's
Well, I
the
mean, he helped him.
story. Yeah, he did. He really did.
You should all run.
Yep. And they were like, yeah. I'm a monster. But he just couldn't come to terms with it.
No.
Jacques was like,
He
I
was
feel like more like
embracing it.
Lestat. He
Yeah.
embraced it.
Yeah, he
for
was
sure.
cool with it. He's like,
He liked the lifestyle.
look at me.
Yeah.
Which is like funny because you don't want people to know what you are. Why would you be like, look at me, look at me?
Right. You're like in hiding or something, but no. He wanted to entertain and be entertained, but he got caught, so no telling where he's at now.
Right. He could still be wandering around out there.
Yep.
So y'all look him up.
Yep.
So you know what he looks like. So you can be like, I saw him on.
He's still hanging around Royal Street.
Yeah. I saw him in New York.
Yep.
I saw him on America's Most Wanted.
He's in San Francisco.
Where in the world is
Carmen
Jacques
Saint-Germain.
Saint-Germain?
But one thing he does not, as much as I like Twilight, he does not glitter, I'm sure.
Probably
in the sunlight.
not.
Because he doesn't get in the sunlight.
Right.
Because he never had brunch. He just had dinner parties, and he went to clubs, and he walked with women at night.
Mm-hmm.
Probably bringing them back to his house to fill his wine bottles.
Put them in wine bottles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
Cool.
that smell will tell. But y'all let me know what you think. Do you think this is a true one? Or do you think the coincidences are just coincidences?
Yeah. So, was there even a Jacques Saint-Germain?
Right. But the funny thing is, where we work at, we have customers that come in, and this lady came in, and her last name was Saint-Germain.
Yes.
And I'm like, do you know there's a vampire in New Orleans, a famous vampire called Saint-Germain? And she's like, I didn't know that. Tell me more. And I kind of briefly told her a little bit, and she's like, my husband's family are all from the city.
So
was he able to...
Is he going to go do his ancestry.com?
Right. And be like, I've got prostitute blood in me. But I'm like, was it possible for him to, have babies and procreate?
Who knows what's possible, really?
I mean, Renesmee.
Right? Which I try to get people to name their dogs that all the time.
You're like, please name your dog or cat Renesmee. Come on.
I'm sure Rihanna's probably like, why don't you just do it yourself?
Right. You named my dog after the Loch Ness Monster?
Yes.
Yes. Sure did.
All right. Well, this is one story in the many. I mean, obviously we're doing 2 this week, but we'll have another vampire week.
Oh, yeah.
We have plenty to go through.
Mm-hmm. There's another...
I mean, the world is a vampire.
It is. Sent to drain.
Yes.
Now we're smashing pumpkins over here. This is our life.
Yeah. Welcome to my brain.
Yep. ADHD. And I'm drinking an Alani, so it makes it even better.
So our theme music.
And our person who suggested we do New Orleans vampires.
Yeah, her and Jessie. They were like, please do New Orleans vampires. We're like, sure we will. Anything for you, Patty Salzetta.
Yes. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, hopefully. She'll give us a little YouTube-y comment.
Absolutely.
And be like, you guys suck. No, I'm just kidding. Ha ha.
Ha ha.
No, we don't. We are not vampires.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm. No. So if you have one that you want us to cover, please send us an email at steeped@holdmysweetie.com.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as I tell you every time, share the link to this episode from wherever you're listening to it at with all your friends, your family, your mama, your daddy, your grandma, some strangers.
Yes.
You're like, just put in some random ass number.
Yeah, and be like, hey, I found this really cool podcast. Listen to it. And they're like, who is this? Never you mind. Just
Don't you
listen.
worry about it.
Oh my gosh.
See, we're desperate.
Yes.
But not really.
Not really. But our podcast
we just enjoy doing it, but it is steady growing.
It is. It's steady growing, and we're getting more and more listeners, and we appreciate each and every one of you so much. Thank you. It makes our little goth hearts so full.
Yeah.
It's just bursting with gothness. My bats come out.
It's freaking bad.
I love Halloween. I think we sound like we're twins sometimes because you know how twins finish each other's sentences. We've been best friends for so long.
Yeah,
we're pretty much twins now.
Yeah, and our
twin
brains,
telepathy.
That's what I was about to say. Our brains are pretty in sync.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I start to say something, you already know what the heck where I'm going with it, what I'm saying. So it's whatever. But yeah, for sure. Also, make sure everybody's following us on our socials.
Yes. And we're going to add some stuff to our YouTube also. So we'll try to do some shorts on the upcoming episodes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just silly stuff if we have time.
Yes.
Some shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
We still need to replan our other trip too.
Absolutely.
So we have that like a very, very short local trip that we want to make that we just didn't get to yet.
Because I still have this story in my back pocket.
Yeah. So we need to do that.
Yep.
But you won't want to miss it. So make sure, even if you're not following us on like Facebook or Instagram, that you are following our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So go subscribe, and TikTok. Because those will be the places you see.
Right.
The vids.
The vids and like, hey, we're having this episode coming up Monday and here's some cool stuff that we did for it.
Yep.
Yep. And as always, do what Pearl says or she'll come to your house.
I'm always coming to somebody's house.
I know.
I will find you.
Oh no. She will. She's a Cancer.
Oh, yeah. Ask Holly about when she tells me, so I talked to this guy, and then 10 minutes later, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
no.
I'm like,
let me tell you all these things about this guy that I just found.
Yeah.
So
investigator.
So yeah.
Yep.
I might could come to your house if you don't do what I say.
Exactly. Exactly. But Hold My Sweet Tea is a Drunken Bee production.
Bzz.
And you guys remember to stay safe out there, protect your necks, and just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping blood and wine.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.